Thanks for tuning in. So this is another, I guess, edition, you might want to call it, of the Teachers and Nurses Mortgage and Finance podcast series. Today I have the lovely Tanya sitting with me, who was the CEO, I'm guessing founder of Outsourced. And Tanya and I go back about 20 years. In terms of, and as I said to Tanya a few minutes ago, Tanya is a legend within the industry. She's like an apostle for the mortgage broking space.
Thanks, Laurie.
When I first met Tanya, I was working with a group which was FinConnect, which was started by the Count Wealth Group. And I left there during the GFC period. I probably should have stayed, but I didn't. And then lo and behold, years later, Tanya has gone out and she started Outsourced. So part of the conversation today is about learning about, I guess, Tanya's industry experience, what drove her to set up Outsourced, and I guess some of the benefits of being an outsourced broker. So, yeah, over to you. Tell us a bit about you.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a very strong and lengthy, as Laurie alluded to, in the finance industry. So I grew up in my early 20s in the banking and finance world. I'm a Queenslander, born and bred, very proud Queenslander, born and bred, but had lived and worked in New South Wales for over 25 years, nearly 25 years. Back in Queensland, as I said, I worked for financial institutions. One of the main ones back then used to be called Metway Bank, now commonly known as Suncorp.
Yeah.
So that's part and parcel of where I began. And then of course I came down to Sydney, and I believe that's where my career really got interesting, because Sydney was the hub, one of the hubs of the financial world, and I guess it just created more and more opportunities for me to grow in this space. What it also created was an education piece. I got to be involved right, I guess, at the beginning or close to the beginning of the third-party market, where mortgage brokers were really coming into play, or there was, lenders coming in and, offering the third-party side to a broker to go out there and be like an agent for their products. So very lengthy space in the finance world. And when I was in New South Wales, I got headhunted to come down for Colonial First State, and in 6 months coming down to Sydney, Commonwealth Bank bought Colonial First State, which was a bit of a culture shock at the time for anybody involved. But what it did, it also got me involved with CBA, because they were never in the third party mortgage broking side, and that gave me an opportunity to be part and parcel of Commonwealth Bank's third party division, where I learnt so much, to tell you the truth. I met the other aggregators. There wasn't a lot of aggregators at the time, but I met them. I started understanding how they worked, and they were all working a little bit differently, or in the end very similar. So that's just a snapshot. I could go on all day. And then of course got headhunted by Count Financial, who was the largest independent dealer group, meaning on the wealth side, financial planners in Australia. At the time they had 900 groups under them on the accounting stroke financial planning. That was their model.
Yeah.
And again, I was asked to go in there and build an aggregation for them, in which FinConnect.
Yeah, and I remember it was hard yakka for you. There was a lot of resistance to us coming in. You actually were personally attacked. I can remember being at the conference where some pretty blimmin' horrible things were said.
Yeah.
And one of the things I'll say is Tanya took it in her stride. Instead of getting aggro, which she could have been perfectly entitled to, she actually just embraced it and said, this is how it is. And it was actually one of those really strong things about demonstrating leadership in the face of adversity that was like, oh, I like this lady.
Well, yeah, that was very challenging.
Yeah.
Because I'd never been attacked like that before. You know, trying to build something for Count and for the members of Count. And you're right, there was a lot of resistance saying, you know, we don't need this, we don't want this. But the beauty of it, Laurie, and you were there, is when they started embracing it.
Yeah.
I think for me that was the successful bit for me. Building an aggregator from scratch again. What I learnt from there is the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I think that's taken me right through to where we are now.
Yeah.
Well, I was starting to get a little bit frustrated because I wanted to make more change, and in that environment, there was, I guess, many layers that you had to go through to make change. But the relationships I had built, not just at Count, but even prior to Count and all the way through, there was a lot of those relationships that couldn't follow or if they wanted to follow me to, you know, when FinConnect was built, because Count was very adamant. They didn't want mortgage brokers coming on board. They wanted FinConnect to work with purely the Count members. So when they put on other members, that's fine, then they could have the lending arm. But, you know, some of those relationships I built throughout the years, it was, you know, I guess a bit disappointing that they had to go to another aggregator and not to FinConnect. But then there was some things I really wanted to do. I wanted to make it a bit more creative. As you know by now, I'm a massive fan, and I'm just obsessed with the training and education piece of the industry overall. And I couldn't actually do that again. So I felt I was getting into this box that I really didn't want to. And, you know, even some of the people in the industry were saying, what are you doing? Why don't you go and build your own? Now, back then, it probably wasn't a great idea. Everyone would be thinking, oh, I'm going to now go and build my own. When I say I, there's no I in Outsourced Financial, and there was never any I in FinConnect, because it was the team. The team was the one that created and built FinConnect, and going forward to Outsource, it was a team effort. So the reason why I wanted to do that, they're all my ideas. They're the team I formed a relationship with, that I brought with me to build FinConnect, and we just wanted to go to another level, and then another level, and then another level, and, you know, and that was fine for me. Well, I'm very passionate about this. I've got really, to tell you the truth, to be just fully transparent, I just got sick and tired of seeing new entrants coming in, and exactly what you just said then, paying $500-600 a month, even more sometimes, and they just weren't getting mentored. They were getting absolutely nothing of value for all this money that they were paying. So that didn't sit well with me, because we want new entrants. We want new people coming into our industry. But, you know, and then it just wasn't a good look, and it's just not what mentoring was all about. If you're going to charge someone for mentoring, you've got to mentor them, not just, you know, throw them a little breadcrumbs here and there. Yeah. You've got to be quite serious about it. So then I thought to myself, there's got to be a better way, because we didn't really have anything like that. And I've gone, you know what, why don't we build our own? Why don't we build our own mentoring programs that we have control of, that we can keep on growing on, that we can look at our members that come on board with us as our business partners, not financially or anything, but treat them like a business partner, and don't charge for mentoring, because what it does, that gives Outsource, and to this day still gives Outsource, a beautiful pipeline of new members coming through. and they're being mentored and trained and educated so they can not just only be a strong professional mortgage broker, but they can also become a really good business owner. So for us, it just wasn't about lending. There's all these other components in these programs. Yes, lending is a big part of it, but so is technology, so is marketing, so same being a business owner. So a lot of these new entrants, they'd never been self-employed before.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing, that we wanted to make a difference, and we wanted to make a difference in this industry. If we, if it was going to be mentoring, well then let us grasp it and let us do it properly. And I mean, I guess the proof is in the pudding. Look at it now, and the number of elite head groups, elite brokers that we have under Outsourced Financial, the number of rising stars coming through, the majority of all of those have come through our programs. So we don't, at Outsourced, we don't go and start targeting any other aggregators, mortgage brokers. To us, that's taboo.
Yep.
We don't need to, we believe. We don't want to. We find that unethical, and we just don't do it. So that's why these programs for us is so important, because it's just not the mentoring program on new entrants coming in on the resi. Then you've got to think of, okay, what happens then when they want to start adding another product suite or diversifying into something? So then we built commercial mentoring. Then we built asset mentoring. But another big one that's been really successful is loan admin. So again, as our members grew, they're going, oh, we're at this level now, I'm really struggling, I've got all this admin, compliance now is very strong, and back then it still is in our industry. Loan admin. So loan admin just boomed. So then we thought, okay, I say members because that's what we call them internally. What I mean to say is they're our mortgage brokers. So our members, we don't want you to get bogged down in the business. We want you working on it as a really good business owner. So let us take that off your shoulders. We created and written a mentoring program for loan admin. To this day, like the last one we've just done, and we run them a couple of times, 2 or 3 times a year, I think there was nearly 90 something loan admin in that. So what that shows you is the growth of our members, thereby leading to the growth of Outsourced. So that's why we don't charge for mentoring. We won't, because for us it's how we see our members. We want them to grow. We want to help them to grow.
Yeah.
We don't want new entrants to grow broke in the first 6 months, because if all this money out, nothing's going to come in as a new entrant for the first 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's one of the main reasons why we went and built our own. We just keep on growing on that.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much. And that plays straight into one of our other mottos of partnerships over competition. That's being shared with any broker who might happen to be watching this, not just outsourced brokers, but that's words of wisdom to anybody within the industry. So thank you very much, Tanya. Thank you so much for your time.
Laurie. Thank you.
No worries.
And thank you for choosing Outsourced.
Thank you.